What are the best Disney Plus movies released in 2021? That's what we're going to discuss on today's episode. Hey, it's me, AP, and welcome to the Saturday Movie Show, everyone. I hope you're all having a lovely Saturday and a lovely weekend. This is the show where we're discussing movies, taking deep dives into movie topics each and every single Saturday. And this Saturday is, as I said in the intro, we're diving into the best Disney Plus movies released in 2021. This is discussing not original Disney Plus movies, just every Disney Plus movie that has been released and eventually went to Disney Plus this year in 2021. There are plenty of releases out there this year that have went to Disney Plus eventually after the initial release, whether it be cinema or whatever the initial release was, with it being this year, 2021. But I thought it was a really cool topic because we're getting to the end of the year now, the end of 2021, to do some of these, looking at the best movies of the year for different streaming services. I think it's quite cool because, I'm looking at maybe at the end of the year doing like a best movies in 2021, but this is like warming me up for it, going through some of the movies so far that have been released this year. So we're going to look at some of the best movies, in my opinion, that have been released and went to Disney Plus this year in 2021. But before we get to the headline topic of today's show, we are going to do some not-so-worthy blockbuster housekeeping. That is right, ladies and gents. If you're new to the show, this is the part of the show where we ease in and discuss what's going on with the channel this week. Just give you some general updates around the channel, and I always find it a nice easing in period to get into the rest of the show. So let's get to it. Not so worthy blockbuster housekeeping. What's going on this week with the channel? I've got my notes right here. So we had a new video on the channel this past week, and that video was all about the movie list, my movie watch list in 2021. I couldn't remember what the video was, and I had to check out the notes. Movie watch list in 2021. It was me going through what I've got on my list currently. So I have my current list in my phone here, and it's just what movies I've never watched before, movies I want to watch for the first time, and that was a really fun video to do. It was also fun to do the stuff before the videos, getting a list together and rearranging my list from previous years and the way I organised my movie watching sort of like protocol, if you like, and the way now I've got my reserve list as well. Definitely check out that video and you'll find out all about it. But I have like a reserve list for movies that don't necessarily go in the top list straight away, the top movie watch list. But that was a fun video to make, and it was also good because it made me sort of like action myself into making a new list and to sort of like go into my old list. And because I was getting to that point with my movie watch list where it was kind of becoming unwatchable because there was too much in it at times, and then things weren't getting watched enough, and I felt like this needed a little bit of a shove in the right direction. And doing a video about it also helped me, so it worked out well. I find that sometimes if I do like sort of videos on like storage or showing the collection, it makes me want to, it gives me a kick up the backside sometimes to sometimes say, let's do it this way, let's do something a bit different, and then I can show to people something different and be pleased with myself as well. And I think that's cool. That's awesome. That was really fun. It was great. I had a lot of interaction in that video. A lot of people in the community, in the Saturday movie show community, got involved, and it was great to see, as always, the community giving their verdict on the list, on my list, and also to give me some of the, your views in the community. That was awesome to see. It was cool as well this time round. I did the video last year on the movie watch list, and I really enjoyed doing it last year, the video. But this year, it had more community recommendations in that video, and it was nice to discuss and mention a few names out there within the community. And I don't get me wrong, I've still got names on movies in the movie reserve list. They made a list, but as I said, any recommendation that comes into the channel on any type of video, whether it be a Saturday movie show or just any other type of movie video, if I get a recommendation from someone, any which way, if you shout it out to me in the street, I will take it down and I will put it in my movie watch list or in the reserve list. And it goes in there. It doesn't get thrown away. Rest assured, I take everyone's picks and put them in my reserve list now. And I did before, but it was just becoming really messy, my list. And I had like numerous lists and it just wasn't that structured. So now I've got a better solution. It's good. If you've not checked out that video, please do give it a watch. It would be awesome to hear your thoughts on that. But to all of you who have already watched it, thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for getting involved. You got involved in the community as well in the comments section on that video. That is awesome. What's going on this week with the channel? We're going to be doing. So I'm going to be filming some. I've got like a week off this coming week from my day job. So I am going to be doing some Patreon content, filming some Patreon videos, bonus videos. Do a bonus video every month. I've been honest, this month I need to get the stuff prepped for this month already. I've got the idea in mind what we're going to do. But that's going to be doing some of that next week or this coming week. And I'm going to be doing the bonus podcast as well. The bonus podcast is going to be another edition of the Watch Order Task Force, I think, this month. The bonus podcast on Patreon comes out at the end of the month. Watch Order Task Force is... I've got tongue-tied there. The Watch Order Task Force is a show where I go through different movies or different franchises and give you the best possible watch order. It's a fun show to do. It's only a short podcast, like 30-40 minutes long, but it's really fun. I enjoy it, and it's going to be cool to do that this coming week, getting some more Patreon content as well as more YouTube content. I've got this few goals for the channel and for content by the end of the year, really. I want to get about 6. I used to really do well at getting like 3 to 4 weeks of batched content, like content just stacked up. But for that, I would say, I think it's since really doing the short film earlier this year, I kind of just got into, because I was filming the short film at the same time as doing the normal content. It's sort of slowed me down a bit, and I kind of just lost my my pace of making more content. So that is, I need to get into that rhythm again of batching content up and getting more content. So I've got a bit of a backbone of content there for you all, just in case. And that is my goal over the next few weeks before Christmas, is to get about 6 to 8 weeks worth of content, YouTube content, all done and uploaded, just in case. And I want to try and keep it to that 6 to 8 week mark for everything then. So I've always got a bit of leeway, just in case if I'm going on holiday or anything, or if something comes up. I always think then I don't have to worry about making the content. I think it's just cool to have in the back of mind, so you can have a little bit of a rest sometimes. So that is something I'm going to be doing over this next couple of weeks, batching tons of content, working on a few different topics. We got some World Movie League episodes being filmed. It's going to be great. Another goal for the channel as well. I know we're getting so close to that 500 subscriber mark now. Getting really close to it. That would be cool. Once we hit that'll be ace, because we get the community tab then, so we can do like polls and ask more questions within the community as well. It'd be cool to do some polls out there to maybe say what type of videos we'd want in future, or for topics maybe, recommendations. So I'm looking forward to getting that community tab. I think it's just going to be cool to get to that 500 mark. It'd be a nice little occasion to get to. I'm sure we will get there at some point soon. I think we're really close now. So I'm looking forward to that. And as always, thank you very much to everyone who's got us there so close so far. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe and check out the rest of the content. I'm doing like the end of the video speech now, and I please sign up to the video. Comment on the video, like. I hope you enjoy this topic. But anyway, that is it. And look at this past week as well. I filmed this on the Friday for the Saturday movie show. The Disney Plus Day is going on right now. I've seen some of the content, some of the trailers that have come out already. Some of it I really do like, and then if we get enough really cool content, I think we'll probably do some sort of coverage, whether it be in next week's show of the Saturday movie show. We'll discuss it. If there's some like really, I'm thinking if we get an Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer, I know we've seen the sizzle reel currently. What have I seen so far? I've seen the sizzle reel for the Obi-Wan, which was released on the Thursday. I've seen the She-Hulk trailer, the Moon Knight trailer. They were both very short, so you can really get like a good grasp of what those are going to be, them projects. But if we get a full-length Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer, who knows? That might have already been released while I'm doing this right now. If we get some really cool movie trailers for new movies, I'm happy to do a video next week. But we'll just see. I'm just going to see how the land lies. If it looks like there's some really cool stuff that I think would be cool to discuss on the channel, I'm sure Thursday there will be a video on the Disney Plus Day event. If not, I will definitely cover it, I'm sure, on next week's show. I'm positive there'll be some sort of coverage, like the HBO Max one the other month. I can't even, was it called HBO Max Day? I can't even remember what that was called now. Yeah, what was it called? The HBO Dome, was it? I can't even remember what it was called now. My brain's gonna blank. But yeah, I'm hoping I'm gonna come out of doing this podcast. I'm gonna go on YouTube or go online, go on Twitter and see everyone going crazy over Disney Plus Day, and I'm looking forward to that. I think it'll be cool if we get some really good videos. I'm thinking we will. I think we're gonna get some really good trailers. The Obi-Wan though, that is the one I'm wanting to see. But what else? We had a few bugs last week in the YouTube stuff. That video didn't get fixed if you've not seen last week's show. But we've not had any problems since, which is great. And the way I see it, close the door on that topic now. Everything's great. The community, everyone can get involved in the community. The comments are still there, so I'm happy. And that's it for the not so worthy Blockbuster housekeeping for today's episode. So now let's get to the headline topic. And the headline topic, as I said, best Disney Plus movies released in 2021. And these are, again, it doesn't have to be, I know you've got like Disney Plus original movies, and these like for instance, the new Home Alone, Home Sweet Home Alone is a Disney Plus original. That's the way it's labeled as. I'm talking about all movies, maybe a movie's had a cinema release and then it's went to Disney Plus. Basically, if it's a 2021 movie and, you know, it was released in 2021, we're going to discuss it today on the show. So, let's get to it. Let's discuss some of these Disney Plus movies. And these are 4 movies that I've really enjoyed this year. And so far, anyway, I'm sure there's probably still more to come out. But these are the ones so far that I've enjoyed this year. So my first choice is Free Guy. That's right, Free Guy, starring Ryan Reynolds, Jodie Comer, Taika Waititi, and that lad from Stranger Things that I don't know his name. What can I say about Free Guy? It is a comedy. It's kind of the way I would label it, and I've heard this mentioned a few times. It's kind of like it's like the Truman Show, the movie starring Jim Carrey. The Truman Show mixed in with like Tron, maybe like a Tron sort of thing. So basically, or maybe like a Ready Player One would be a better sort of analogy for this. So yeah, Truman Show meets Ready Player One. So basically, it's Ryan Reynolds, his character of Guy, is an NPC, a non-playable character in this video game world, this big multiplayer platform game. And people go in with the VR headsets to go into this game, or they can play it on the PC or whatnot. And he's not aware that he's an NPC, he's not aware that he's in this video game. And then it goes on later that he finds out he is in a video game. And Jodie Comer's character is this developer of this game, and the game was then, there's a whole mess, but basically the villain of the piece is Taika Waititi's character, who is sort of like plagiarized the game of Jodie Comer's character. She's trying to prove that her game exists within his game through the code. And through all this, she falls in, she develops a relationship with Guy, and he realizes then he's a video game character, and he helps her to, realize the truth and to reveal the truth that the video game, the coded video game, is basically her game that she created. And that's the backbone of the story. But the true story really is, Ryan Reynolds' character, this guy who is unaware of the world around him and unaware of really who he truly is, very much like the Truman Show. And I thought it was a really fun movie, and I was really surprised by this movie because I remember seeing the trailers and just thinking, I don't know, this just doesn't look great. It looks like a cash cow. It looks like it was just, let's make as many Ryan Reynolds movies as we possibly can because he's the big star name in Hollywood. And I like Ryan Reynolds. I do like Ryan Reynolds, but it looked to me at first, the first few trailers, that it just like they were just trying to make any type of movie, any type of comedy movie with Ryan Reynolds. And I just thought this looked awful. But I gotta be honest, I'd had a few people mention it to me, and I give it a watch, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really fun movie. I thought Ryan Reynolds was great. I think he's a really good comedy performer. He's kind of like Jim Carrey in a way. He's very much like, his mannerisms, his jokes, his sense of humor. Every movie he is Ryan Reynolds. He plays that silly guy, but I think he's a really good performer. I like his movies. He's a likable guy. When I watch him in interviews, like Ryan Reynolds, he looks like a likable person. He looks like a fun guy you'd want to be around. And same goes with his movie characters. I really like the character of Guy in this, or Blue Shirt Guy, as he's referred to. And you see like the world start to fall in love with Guy, and him during this movie, as I said, he starts to realize that he is this NPC character, and then he starts to, let other people know in the world, the other NPCs, that they are, part of this video game world. And it's just a funny story. I think, again, the acting of Ryan Reynolds is great, but you've also got another great actress in this movie, Jodie Comer. I believe she's actually from Liverpool, and she is great. She's got great accents. I've not seen her in that much, I'll be honest. I know she's in that new Ridley Scott movie, The Last Duel, which I'm really looking forward to seeing. But she she plays like an American accent and a British character as well. I think the British characters in the game, but outside the game, she is American, and it's weird, but she can really do voices really good. She's a good actress. I think this is my pick, right? Jodie Comer. I hope I'm saying her name right. I think she would be ace in Fantastic Four as was it Sue Storm? Is it the Invisible Woman? I think she would be awesome in that role, and she's an upcoming actress. If she is not in that film, I would love to see her in the X-Men reboot. I think she's a superb and a big time actress now. But I think she would be so cool to see in a Marvel movie in the future. I think it would be great to see. I like her. If you don't know the actress, I'm sure you would know her face if you don't know the name. But she's a really big time upcoming British actress. I think she was it Killing Eve? That was the show she was in. But she nails it in this. She is great. The guy from Stranger Things, I don't know his name, but I think the film is directed by, is it Sean Levy, is it? I think he's involved in Stranger Things. I've only watched season 1 Stranger Things, so I don't really know the character's name even in that. So, but I think a lot of people would know the guy's face. But Taika Waititi, we know him from directing Thor. We know him from like the What We Do in the Shadows movie. He's been in tons of stuff. He plays Korg in the Thor Ragnarok movie as well as directing that movie. He plays the villain in this movie. He's not in it a massive amount of times, but when he's in it, he's funny. I like him. He's a cool guy. And yeah, it's just overall, it's a really funny movie. It's a comedy movie, Free Guy. It's on Disney Plus. It was released this year. It was delayed from, I think it was meant to be released last year originally. This is one, I think it was originally a Fox product, a Fox movie. So it was one of those that went over from the Fox deal. But I really like this movie. I think it's well worth the watch. If you like comedy movies, definitely give it a try. I think it's one the whole family can watch as well. It's not like heavy, or like I wouldn't say it was rated R. I'm pretty sure it's not. It's one for the whole family. If you like comedy, you like Ryan Reynolds, you will like Free Guy. Get it watched. So now we go to my second choice of this video, and my second choice is Black Widow. This is the first big MCU movie to go straight to streaming on the same day as a cinema release because of obviously what has been going on over the past year or two in the world. This is the Scarlett Johansson-led movie, her starring as the role of Natasha, the Black Widow. And it's kind of like an origin come present time movie. And it's all based before the snap, before Thanos' snap. And we get sort of like a look into her life, her background, her backstory, her family life before and after. And it's interesting. I really enjoyed this movie. I've watched it a few times. I had a lot of fun watching it all the times I've watched it. So we've got like in this story, we've got Florence Pugh as Yelena, Natasha's sister. We have the Red Guardian played by is it David Harbour. We have Rachel Weisz playing the mother of Yelena and of Natasha as well. Ray Winston plays the villain of the piece in this. It explores the Red Room, where she was trained as this Black Widow assassin, and where all the other Black Widows are trained. It's a fun movie. It's a fun action movie. This was the first female-led Marvel movie was Captain Marvel. In my opinion, if I'm looking at both Captain Marvel, Black Widow, I think Black Widow should have certainly been the first female-led movie because Scarlett Johansson, she's been there since the start. That character I love that character of the Black Widow, and I think this for me is a much better movie than Captain Marvel. Maybe some of you think that is a controversial opinion. I think a lot of people would agree with me because it's such a better movie. It's such a better movie. It's got more likable characters in it. I think the main character of Natasha is a lot more likable and is a much better character. Fair enough, you can say, look at her in the first few movies, she wasn't as rounded, but she is great in this movie. I love the story. I love the links with her family members of Red Guardian, and he's a standout character. It's got some great characters like Red Guardian, Yelena are great. I think there is some parts of it that could have been improved. I think there's definitely a bit of like a villain problem in this at times, where you kind of like, it doesn't feel like there's a true villain to this at times. I feel like the villain, like the Taskmaster, is not kind of like fully used to the way that the villain could have been used in this film, and it feels like a bit of like, at the end, a bit of a flat villain. But I think there's a lot of scenes and a lot of story in this that really makes up for the sort of like the flat villain syndrome in this film. I really enjoyed it. The action set pieces are fantastic. Just some notable points here. The scene in the car chase scene is great. The scene at the end, like when the Red Room is getting destroyed. Spoiler warning. Basically, there's a scene where they're flying through the sky. That is a great scene. I really enjoyed it. The jailbreak scene as well, also very, very good. As I said, I think the only downfall, I think Ray Winston, I think he's a great actor. He just doesn't feel right for the role in this film. I think they could have got someone else who could have done that role a bit more justice. And I think they could have really improved the villain a bit more and give the villain a bit more time, because sometimes in this movie you don't feel like there's a natural villain in play, or the villain doesn't really matter so much in this film. But Black Widow is a great movie, even without all them little flaws that I'm they're creeping into my viewpoint. It's still a fantastic movie. Definitely a fantastic movie. A very enjoyable movie. It's on Disney Plus now. It's not on premium access anymore. It's on Disney Plus for everyone to view. It is well worth watching. It's a great MCU movie. I really enjoyed it. If you've not watched it and you like MCU movies, if you're on the fence, get it watched because it is a great movie. Let's now move to my third choice here. In no particular order, my third choice is Jungle Cruise. Jungle Cruise, led by Emily Blunt, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. If you smell what The Rock is cooking. And Jack Whitehall, the British comedian. So Jungle Cruise, it's a Disney movie. It is a movie that is, I think it comes straight to streaming. I think this was similar to the Black Widow release. It went to the premium access, I'm pretty sure at first. I can't remember now. Now you can watch it on Disney Plus anyway. Jungle Cruise is like an action adventure story. It is based apparently on a ride that was on Disney at the Disney parks, similar to the way Pirates of the Caribbean was a ride originally, and they made it into a movie franchise. And talking about Pirates of the Caribbean, I mean, this feels like this is, it's filling that void of Pirates of the Caribbean, this movie, Jungle Cruise. So it's an action adventure movie. It's kind of like, the way I would put it into focus, it is like the 90s mummy movies mixed in with Pirates of the Caribbean. It's maybe a bit of Indiana Jones mixed in there, but I wouldn't say like massively, just a few little sprinkles. But overall, I would say it's definitely got that it's filled that void of Pirates of the Caribbean and the original 90s Brendan Fraser mummy movies. I had a lot. It's a fun movie. It's a fun, entertaining movie. Jungle Cruise. Basically the basis of the story is Emily Blunt and her brother are wanting to find this ancient tree, this like mystical tree that has these flowers they have like curing qualities to them, and it's like this massive trek into this jungle. And they meet then Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's character of Frank, who's this boat driver. He then takes them out into finding this, and then we see loads of twists and turns in the story. And it's just find this key, find this object. That's the goal of the story, and then we see all these twists and turns with the characters within the story. But it's a really fun story. It's got some great action scenes throughout on this, and it's great because you got this story that's set primarily on this boat going on this adventure, and it's good to see. And there's some funny moments. I think a really good action scene is when they're preparing to leave the boat, from the shipyard at the start of the movie. And there's a big action set piece there. It's a great set piece, and there's a few little set pieces throughout the movie within this film, and it's really high paced action, but it's fun. It's cheesy at times, and it's very similar to them mummy movies and to the Pirates of the Caribbean. It's got that. It doesn't take itself too serious in the action moments, and it can have a laugh with itself. I feel this movie. I had a great laugh watching it. I feel like I was left wanting more. I know they have announced a sequel to this now, and hopefully we'll get to see that sooner rather than later. I think this could definitely be maybe not as big as Pirates of the Caribbean, because that has become, Pirates of the Caribbean, getting tongues out again. Pirates of the Caribbean became a huge success, and it amassed a load of money over the years. Can it be as big? I mean, it could be. I don't know whether it will be hitting them heights, because it didn't feel like it had everyone talking about this movie. It felt like it was, it was talked about a bit, but it wasn't the big, huge movie that maybe people expected it to be. But I think it was a good movie. I think it had entertainment. It had the spectacular about it. It had a big blockbuster feel to it. And if more people give it a chance, it will, pick up a bit more traction and it'll grow a bigger fan base. But the fact that we're getting a sequel already is exciting to hear, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with the next film. I like the characters in this. I think Jack Whitehall is really funny. Emily Blunt is great as like the sort of like the brave character, brave lead in this movie, as well as the Rock's character as well, who's this strong, kind of like a strong silent type at times, but he's thrown in like these really awful jokes and stuff, and he's adding a lot of comedy value, adding a load of entertainment. He's the most electrifying man in acting today, The Rock. He has got charisma chops that could beat anyone, but he is phenomenal. Emily Blunt is great, and Jack Whitehall is equally as good. Great cast, great movie, well worth checking out on Disney Plus. Now let's go to the final pick of today's headline topic, and this one is one I've just watched today, and I was so excited to see this film because I'd heard great things about it, and I didn't go and see it at the cinema. And that movie is Shang Chi. That's right, Shang Chi, the Marvel movie, the first Marvel martial arts movie. Shang Chi, the character of Shang Chi, and it is a marvelous movie indeed. I really had a happy face on me this morning watching this. It was great. Shang-Chi is this, as I say, a martial arts based Marvel MCU movie. The main character is Shang-Chi, or Sean, he's also known in this movie. He's from a background, his father is the Mandarin, and he's this warrior who is, he has the 10 rings of power, these rings that go around his arms, and he just gives him superpower and eternal life. And Shang-Chi is just this super martial arts guy, but he obviously has the power. His mum had like this ancient power. It goes to ancient worlds, ancient realms, ancient locations. It's got this really world-traveled, universal movie feel to this this adventure movie. It goes across the world. It's in San Francisco. It's initially set, and then they go to, I think they go to, is it Macau? They go to, I think they go to China. But it's great. It's got a big worldly feel to this film. I was really excited to see it, and the excitement didn't fail me. It was really fun to watch. The action scenes, the martial arts in this were breathtaking. I suppose a lot of people would, pick standout moments of this movie would be the bus scene. The bus scene was great. The fight scenes on that were great, with Shang-Chi and all the villains. And then the scaffolding scene was great. But one scene I really, really did enjoy is when they get to this ancient village called Tao Lao, or Talo. Maybe I'm butchering the pronunciation of that. But it felt like Jurassic Park. It had that Jurassic Park feel when they just arrive in this car and they look around and they see all these like mythical beasts and creatures going around, because it's this realm, this place, this land that no one can get to normally. This ancient, powerful, magical realm. And it's just really cool. And you see all these beasts and these monsters, and it's just awesome to see. And then we see, I suppose, spoiler warnings at the end of this movie if you're not seeing it, because I don't want to spoil it. I've not really spoiled it yet, but spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Look, the end battle with the dragon and the creature is great. It was something new. It was something different. It was a different feel to the Marvel films, and it added a different layer. It felt like Godzilla. It was like a Godzilla battle between like Godzilla and Kong. I love that battle at the end. It was just epic. It felt big. The music was great throughout. It just had a different feel as well to it, which it felt fresh compared to a lot of the other Marvel movies. I mean, I love Marvel movies, and they really let me down. Apart from that one movie that I won't discuss. But it had a freshness to it, this movie. It felt like when I watched Guardians of the Galaxy for the first time, that had a fresh feel and a different direction to the Marvel movies. And that was great when I watched that. And even now, I go back to that and I really enjoy it, and I can see how different it is to the movies that came prior to that. Watching Shang-Chi felt very much the same, where I'm watching it and it felt like it was a step in a new direction. And it was giving us this new hero, a hero I didn't know anything about. And it gives a different feel and a different look at the Marvel universe, which I thought was really cool to see. So I really enjoyed that. I thought it was a really fun movie to watch. Overall, it's definitely, if one for everyone in the family. If you like Marvel superhero movies, you will definitely enjoy it. It's now on Disney Plus, so you've got to give it a try. I missed it when it was at the cinemas. I didn't get to see it because of what's going on in the world. I decided to wait for the home release, and the wait was worth it because it was worth waiting for this movie. It was a great film to watch, and I'm looking forward to seeing Shang-Chi in the future. And the Ten Rings, the Legend of the Ten Rings, was a fantastic film, and definitely wait around for the post-credit scenes. 2 post-credit scenes, and you get a feel that there's definitely going to be more stories set within the Shang-Chi characters and the Shang-Chi universe of characters as well. I thought it was great. And look, as well, they paid off on a character from a film I did not enjoy. Iron Man 3, I'll say it, I don't like it. They had Sir Ben Kingsley return from that movie in the role of Trevor. And it was a bit of redemption, I'll be honest with you, because I didn't like his character in that movie. I didn't even think it was funny, and maybe if I watched it back, maybe I would see a funny side to it, but I just can't bear to watch that film. But that character returns, who was the fake Mandarin in that movie, and now he's like a joker, like a jester to the actual Mandarin, the Mandarin, and he kind of plays a small role in this movie. But the parts he's in, he's playing like this guy Trevor, who's this guy from Liverpool. He's got like the Liverpool scarves in the background, but he helped Shang-Chi and his sister to get to this Tao Lao place, and I thought it was a bit of a redemption arc for him. I enjoyed his character in this. I thought he added a bit of comedy relief, and it was good. This movie had comedy, it had action, and it had just a really cool bunch of characters, from his best friend Katie to his sister to the auntie and to the villain as well. I really liked the villain in this piece. I thought he had, he wanted to do the right thing, but he was just drawn to his to his love, his wife, and what he thinks is his wife, but it's not his wife, and he just wants to really just see his wife. Really, that's it. And he wants to see his wife who died, but unfortunately, she is dead, or maybe she will return. Who knows? In a future movie, but he was, I felt like at the end that his character was going to come back. His soul got sucked into that monster, to the evil dragon, and I felt like after that dragon was going to get killed, that his soul would return. I would not be surprised if his character returned to a future movie, though. I feel like there's something there maybe for him to return in a future movie somehow. But I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Shang-Chi. I'm really glad I got to watch it finally. And yeah, well worth watching. And that is the end of today's headline topic. So now we move forward to the section of the show called Movies for the Weekend. And this is part of the show where I give you some movie recommendations for this weekend, something to watch if you're looking for some movies to watch. And I've got some recommendations. I've got 2 different recommendations this weekend. So the first one really is, I've been on a bit of a, watching Wallace and Gromit, a bit of a kick of watching Wallace and Gromit recently. I watched the Were-Rabbit movie, and then I've been watching like the original Wallace and Gromit specials, the Wrong Trousers. And I love their movies, the Wallace and Gromit movies. I think the animation is great. The Were-Rabbit movie, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, is It's just a really overall great film. Great film to watch. I had a look watching it. I've watched it a few times this past week because it's one of those movies I watch before I go to bed, and it really just makes me fall asleep. And you probably think, well, maybe that's not a good movie. Maybe you don't like it. But I find if them movies that I fall asleep to is the ones I really enjoy because they just relax me. And maybe it's more like a good go to sleep movie. It's a relaxing movie. And just sink into that world of Wallace and Gromit. It's just something about that world I really love to watch. But I love that. And this movie I'm going to discuss today as a recommendation for movies for the weekend, is by the creators of Wallace and Gromit, and the movie is Chicken Run. This is a movie that was released. It's got to be over 20 years old now. This film. It's got to be early 2000s, surely. I know they are doing a sequel to this soon. I'm pretty sure they're releasing it. I don't know, in like next year or two. But Chicken Run was a really fun movie. That same style of like clay stop motion animation, and it's a story of these chickens trying to escape this farm, kind of like a parody of The Great Escape. It's just a fun film. It's like a children's, a family film to watch. But I love films like this. They're just, again, they're easy to watch. You don't have to. It's not like a film where you're having to follow the story. It's a simple enough story to watch. The characters are fun. The music's good, and the animation is just beautiful to look at. I love this style of animation. I think, I'm not too sure if this was actually done with clay or it was computer effects. I'm pretty sure that this would have been, because it would have been early 2000s, it still would have been like the actual clay stop motion animation. I would have to do some more research into that, but it's a really fun movie if you've never watched it, Chicken Run. If it escaped you as in the early 2000s when this was released, definitely check it out. Chicken Run, well worth checking out if you like Wallace and Gromit sort of stuff. Look, here's my second recommendation for movies for the weekend. This is one because I got another movie I'm going to discuss later in the show, but Home Alone. Great series of movies. Some of them I've not watched, some of them I have, but this is one I watched as a kid, as well as the Macaulay Culkin ones. I love them, but Home Alone 3 was one I would watch as well as a kid, and I didn't think this was that bad as a kid. I've not rewatched it in a while, so maybe I'll watch it and I'll be like, oh, it's not that good. But I enjoyed it when I last watched it. I think it's definitely. Look, the original two movies were superb. And I think anything that comes after them, and with a change of the characters, it's never going to be as good. But if you look at this as a film on its own, it's a decent film. I enjoyed it. And I know they got the new Home Alone, Home Sweet Home Alone, coming to Disney Plus this weekend. Why not check out this? This is a fun movie. It's Home Alone 3. Got the same sort of feel. It's got, I think, I'm pretty sure Scarlett Johansson is in this. She plays like the sister of the main character, the main kid. But yeah, I liked it as a kid, and it's worth checking out if you're looking for something to watch this weekend. So now, that is the movies for the weekend section over for the show. It has made a return as well from last week, because last week I didn't have it featured in the show. I wanted to bring it back into this week because it's a section of the show I do enjoy doing. So I hope you like them movie recommendations for this weekend. But now we are going to move on to the Amazon top 10 for this week, and we're going to look at a bit of a change to it from last week. I'm just going to look at the best sellers, and this will be moving forward. We're going to look at just the DVD and Blu-ray and 4K best sellers on Amazon as of recording this video, the top 10. So Amazon top 10 for this week. We have got, I believe this was number one last week. So this is as of Friday of filming this. So number one in top 10 is, actually, you know what? Let's go from number 10 to number one. I think that's better. So at number 10, we have No Time to Die, James Bond 4K Ultra HD. So it's the 4K of the No Time to Die film that's coming out in December. I believe that is at number 10 in the bestsellers on Amazon top 10. We have Jungle Cruise at number 9. At number 8, we have The Crown Season 4. Jungle Cruise, the DVD, is also at, sorry, my apology. No, at number 7. So we have The Crown at number 8, season 4. Number 7, we have The Suicide Squad Blu-ray, and that is at number 7. I believe that's coming out, is it this week? I think, or this month it's coming out. I'm looking forward to seeing that again. What else have we got? We've got Black Widow DVD at number 6. We've got Marvel Studios' Shang Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, what we've been discussing on today's show. That is the DVD version, number 5. Number 4, we have the Blu-ray of Shang-Chi. We have number 3, we have The Matrix, Titans of Cult Steelbook, 4K Steelbook. That looks quite cool. I think last week, Mono Chelavette Movies, he was mentioning Clockwork Orange Steelbook, which was this Titans of the Cult. Very similar to this one, so The Matrix Titans of the Cult. That looks cool. £35. If you're into your 4K, your collectibles, that's one to check out. Next up, we have No Time to Die, the Blu-ray, and then we have the No Time to Die DVD at number 1. And that is the Amazon Top 10 for this week, ladies and gentlemen. So now let's move on to the last section of the show. And the last section of the show, I want to discuss what's been on the screen. That's right. What's been on the screen. This is where I'm talking about what I've been watching, what I've been reading, whatever this week. And I want to talk about one movie that I have also watched today, and that is Home Sweet Home Alone, the new Home Alone movie. And this stars Ellie Kemper, a notable name, Kenan Thompson from Kenan and Kel and SNL fame, and Rob Delaney as well. They're the notable names I think you would know from this. It's a new kid. The character is called Max in this movie. And look, it's very different from the original Home Alone movies. I love the original Home Alone. Very different. The story, basically, this couple are having a house sale in America, and this British family, this British mum and the son, they go to this house sale because the kid needs to use the toilet. They see this doll, which turns out this doll is worth like hundreds of thousands of pounds. And then the doll goes missing, and the owners of the house, Ellie Kemper and Rob Delaney's characters, think this kid and Max stole it, and we don't know whether he has or if he has or if he hasn't until the end of the story. But basically, then similar stories to the original. He gets left at home while his parents and all his family go away to Japan, and that's where they try and then break into this house to retrieve this really expensive doll that they think he has stolen. And look, it's definitely not got the charm of the old movies. I think the thing for me with this, I enjoyed it at certain points. I think the points I really enjoyed it was the end parts where it was like, where they're going into to rob the house, to break into the house, where you've got them funny moments. I really like them moments. I thought there was some funny parts in that. But before that, I feel like the kid is kind of not super likable. His character, not the actual actor, the kid. I think the character at times is just kind of like... I was kind of rooting for the bad guys in this for a lot of the movie. I'm like, I hope they steal him. I hope they steal that kid's toy back and break into his house. I felt like the kid wasn't likable a lot throughout this movie. Maybe at the end he was a bit more likable at the very end of the movie, when there's like a bit of a twist on the characters and the villains and the good and the obviously the protagonist and the antagonist. But overall, his character wasn't like... Look, Kevin McAllister, Macaulay Culkin's character, I was rooting for him. In Home Alone 1 and 2, I was rooting for him. But in this one, I was kind of, like I said, I was rooting for the villains, which turns out to be Ellie Kemper and Rob Delaney, the characters in this film. It was a fun movie. I would say it's like a middle-of-the-road film, but it's worth watching. It's definitely a Christmas film. You could watch it over Christmas with the family. Put it on. I think kids would really enjoy this film. I think they'd have a lot of laughs, kids. I would say really fun parts for me was it had a callback to to the original films. And I suppose this is a bit of a spoiler, so if you've not watched it, you don't want to spoil it. But spoiler warning for this film, we get a cameo from the original movies. And the cameo is from Kevin's brother, Buzz McAllister. We know Buzz from the original 2 movies. And he in this is playing a local police officer. And he mentions his brother Kevin. Now Kevin is like in charge of this alarm company. He does the alarms and stuff. And there's a mention to him and a mention and refer. They refer and reference the original 2 movies, which is really fun. I like that. I was kind of expecting we're going to see a Macaulay Culkin cameo at some point. We didn't see it, but I was happy with that little small cameo. I thought it was really cool to see. But yeah, if you're looking for something to watch, I would recommend watching it over Christmas. It's something to watch. It's something fresh, It's not an awful movie. I think they could have done a bit more with this. It was a really short movie as well. It wasn't super long. It was nice. They had little tie-ins with them little cameos. It had the tie-ins with the original music being featured. Well, give it that kind of Home Alone feel. The originals can never be beaten with any films. I feel, look, your Star Wars, whatever it may be, your Star Treks for a lot of people, Back to the Futures, if they remade them, I wouldn't be happy. If they did remakes, I'd never be happy, I'm sure. Home Alone, they were movies that I grew up with, and a lot of people grew up with them movies or watched them at that period when they were out and really had a lot of fun watching them movies. And the characters were always fun to watch, especially the sticky bandits, the wet bandits. They were great. They were great villains, and the films just, even to this day, even though you know what's going to happen with them in that film, they just make me laugh so much, them films. It's like a laugh a minute, especially when they're breaking into the houses. You're just like holding to dear God because you're laughing out so loud. That's the way I get anyway. But, you've got to, I think you've got to like just give this movie a chance and say, look, it's nowhere near as good as them movies. And I will say that right now. I think even Home Alone 3 is a lot better than this film. But give it a chance. You might enjoy it. I had some laugh. I laughed a few times in this. But middle of the road movie. Something to watch over Christmas if you're looking for something on Disney Plus. It's on Disney Plus now. It's not on the premium access. It's in the main section. Definitely worth checking out if you're looking for something to watch over Christmas. If you're feeling, you're looking for a bit of a Home Alone fix. But I'd always watch the originals. But it's nice that it's got that little link to the original movies as well. But anyway, that is what's been on my screen this past week. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's show. It has been a really fun show to dive into these Disney topics. If you enjoyed it today, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel and check out the rest of my movie-related content as well. We got a lot of fun playlists on the channel currently. Lots of different content out there if you're a fan of movies, definitely. But let me know, what are your picks? What are your best Disney Plus movies to come to Disney Plus this year in 2021? What have been some of your favourite movies? And let me know why they are your favourite movies, and which ones of my picks did you enjoy? Did you like Black Widow? Did you like Jungle Cruise? What did you think of Shang Chi? And let's not forget Free Guy as well. Let me know all your picks. Let me know your thoughts on today's episode. Let me know if you're watching Home Sweet Home Alone. Let me know if you've watched it or if you're going to give it a watch over Christmas as well. Yeah, it's been a really fun show. Thank you very much for tuning in. I will see you all next Saturday. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I will see you next time.